And we are live.
Awesome. All right. Is everybody here, or should we wait for more people? I think most
I
of
think
us
you
are
should
here.
start at 9:03.
Then we will need to train the recording, Michal, because otherwise we'll have people watching 1 minute of nothingness.
Well, we can, for example, entertainingly say something. And by the way, hi Akshay, thank you for. Actually, is that the way you pronounce your name? Akshay, Akshay. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it.
Akshay.
Akshay. Okay, perfect. Great.
Akshay.
Akshay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm learning all the time.
Okay, so for homework, we should all do what Mikhail did. Find a recording on the internet with our names pronounced correctly, first and last.
Hey,
And middle names.
I wasn't quite sure, since we haven't started yet, what's happening with the status updates? Is there a place for them? I wanted to put something up for this week, but it seems like the format of the Etherpad has also changed.
Oh, they're under the round table.
Yeah, if you scroll down, it should be there.
Oh, all right. Okay. Thanks.
Right, so we should get started, and we should get started by explaining what has happened with Etherpad, I guess. So hello everybody and welcome to a new community meeting. Today is Monday, the 6th of October, and this is the meeting where everybody in the SUMO community comes together and discusses things. I was away for a week and now I'm back, so apologies if I'm a bit dizzy with things. I still have like a bunch of emails that I haven't read, like 1,000 or so. But I will catch up soon. So what's happening with the format of the meeting? Michal and I had a few discussions and we decided to start improvising.
You should say experimenting. That's what we agreed on. Experimenting.
Experimenting.
No, it's jazz. Improv.
To jazz it up. In order to make this more interesting and more useful to people, what we want to do is to try to concentrate more on discussing things, as in community problems, what's going on, issues that need to be brought to the table that are normally either discussed in emails or on the forums, and just bring those here to this meeting and talk about them here, and then save the updates as read-only. And of course, if there is any update that is that it's very important and needs to be like brought out to the group, please do so. But this is what we're proposing. So yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay. I got an yay from Roland. Awesome. So that will also mean that people in this meeting will need to pay attention and not like drift off in front
Stop
of
talking about my lack of attention. Yeah.
Because I can see you guys. I can see you guys typing something else. So I will need like 30 minutes of your full attention because we will need feedback from you, which is awesome. So before we get started, please make sure that you have all the updates for the week in the Etherpad as read-only. And if there is something that you really want to talk about, please say so now before we actually start the discussions themselves. So anything super crazy important that needs to be brought up that happened last week? No? Okay, sounds awesome. All right, so then let's talk about Army of Awesome. This was the proposed topic for today.
Also because it's alphabetically first.
Alphabetically first, of course. What we will also do, Michal and I, is to make sure that we send the proposed topics before. So basically on Friday, the way we did for reminder for the meetings, that would be reminders. Also write down your updates, and here are the proposed topics. And if you have anything you want to discuss, so we'll do that in due time. Sorry for not doing it now. Yeah. So Army of Awesome. We had a few things happening in Army of Awesome. We had an Army of Awesome party a week ago with a lot of people gathering together on a Saturday and just having fun. which was cool. We are making a lot of progress on Army of Awesome, but there are still a lot of things that need to be put in place because this is like it's a big program that we're running. So what we want to do is to try to pick your brains on things. So this is not like I'm going to ask a question and then I'm going to answer it. It's basically I want to hear what other people think about the issues that we have with Army and Awesome. And the first thing that we kept discussing on and on with like everybody, and everybody has like a different opinion, is basically what is the purpose of Army of Awesome? Are we having this program because as a primary goal we want to attract new people, or are we having this program because we want to be able to support people on Twitter? So what do you think?
Or is there any other purpose as well? I mean, maybe there's something else. I don't know. Should we be calling people out by name, by the way, or like?
Yeah, maybe. So I think basically the way this started, Kadir, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The way this started was as a way for us to attract people to SUMO. So as an easy way for contributors to be able to contribute to SUMO and then maybe move on to other things. Or you can tell us more about how this started because you were there. Basically, you started.
Yeah, so actually it was both. On one hand, we wanted to be able to reach out to people who didn't know about SUMO. So to get on the social networks, because their helping one could actually have a compound effect if people retweet stuff and like things. So you help one person, but then that person spreads that around. And if it's an important topic, you can get the word out very quickly. There was one idea behind it, reaching out to people beyond our own website. And the other idea was to have, as you said, a low threshold channel to get people in and then move them to the support forums, for example. Yeah, like casual users in the Army of Awesome and then more advanced users in the support forums. More advanced contributors, sorry.
Right, so basically what we're saying is that we want to have like all of it. We want to have a program that is easy enough for people to use so that we attract more people and not scare them on the way and show them that contributing can be easy and fun. At the same time, we want a program that helps people and provides a lot of quality. Am I correct?
Yeah, but it was never the idea, to be clear, that we would answer each and every question on Twitter. I mean, we didn't have goals around that. The idea was to reach out to people on Twitter, but with the understanding that Twitter and other social networks are very vast and might be way more than we can actually provide for. But that was okay because people on those networks don't necessarily expect us to reach out to them. Like in a support forum, so not answering each and every question was okay for us at that point. Mm-hmm. But again, this is 3 years ago, so things might change and whatever. It was just the idea when we started it.
Yeah, I don't know, like I would really like to hear what other people think. I think that we probably still don't want to answer each and every question, especially the ones that are not particularly, I mean, they're not even questions, they're just people expressing some frustration or whatever. But Kaki had a very interesting point. He wrote it down there, that is the purpose of having this program is to have a SUMO presence that is known on social media. Which is basically, we want to be there, but we don't want to be like, we cannot be there for everything, but we're there. So I don't know, any other opinions around this? Roland, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Come on, everybody else must have opinions. I always have opinions. If you think of Twitter as a game, it is a game where you cannot win. It is a game that lasts forever. Same with Facebook, right? So we shouldn't think about it as 100%. I don't think we can ever get there. But I think we should have, I think this is a great thing for newbies, and I think it's a great thing for standard operating procedures. It's like, if it's development, point them to NDN or to Stack Overflow. If it's QA, point them to that. Always give them a link, and then that's it. If it's clearly not support, it is not our job to reply more than once with an appropriate link to a non-SUMO resource. And if it is support, then we give them help in the form of a link to a KB article or in the link to ask a question. And that's it. And if they get mad at us because we don't answer their question in 140 characters, then we reply once again, politely, say here's the link to the KB article and how to ask a question. We cannot do support other than that in Twitter or even on Facebook. That's my opinion. We can't engage in, people have these tweet storms or these conversations with 500 tweets. We can't do that. We have to limit it and we have to be clear. I would say less than 6 tweets per conversation, preferably 2 or less. Right? And I think we should try to respond to it. And if they're rants, but they have a point, and we have a KB article or a link, we should respond to it. But of course, we never respond impolitely, no matter how impolite people are. As they continue to swear at us or whatever, we just ignore. So our responsibility is to direct them to a KB article in support, or direct them to ask a question in support, and 1 more tweet, and the rest has to go on SUMO. I think that should be our policy. And the other stuff, because we get stuff with QA and dev, we direct them to the appropriate contribute pages, right? And Mozilla even, but we're not going to engage in a discussion about a Mozilla bug. Should make that clear.
Right.
Our terms of engagement here should be quite clear. It's like, Canada sending ridiculous jet fighter planes to Iraq, which I don't agree with. But their rules of engagement are quite clear. So let's be clear here too. 2 tweets, maybe 1 if it's off topic, and if you keep ranting, you're never going to respond to you more than once. We should make that clear, and that's it. It's a fire hose. We'll never be able to 100% answer, which should not be our goal. Our goal should be to provide timely redirects to non-SUMO and timely links to, by redirects I mean links, and timely links to SUMO where appropriate. 1 or 2 tweets. That's what I think. Stop.
Yeah, that's cool. So moving on from there, if we say Army of Awesome is primarily supposed to ensure that we as SUMO have a presence on social media and people know that we're there, and we help the way we can, but we're not supposed. We cannot provide the same support you would provide on email or one-to-one or whatever, because it's Twitter. So what's better? Do we want to have 100% answered tweets or 100% correctly answered tweets?
100% correctly answered tweets.
So the
quality.
Yeah, quality is kind of the point, and this is something that we've seen recently. We've seen quite a while ago on Army of Awesome, where if we have new people jumping in, there is this risk actually of getting a lot of noise from that. And my point here, for example, a point I would like to make about Army of Awesome is I think it's a great idea, and I think we should definitely do it. It's just how do we ensure the quality? I don't know. We have some ideas around training, or we have some ideas around kind of letting people do a bit of warm-up tweeting with somebody taking a look at it and saying, okay, this is the way you should do it, or this is not the way you should do it. And do you think it would mean that we should also train the people before we actually let them respond? Because that would probably lengthen the time to engage, actually to let people engage online, but that would definitely drive the quality up.
Yes, and make the training self-serve so that we do not have to be awake to train them. Like a quiz at the end. Make them do a sample tweet at the end. I don't know.
It's just that you have to be careful with this, because it still needs to be fun and engaging. And if you make this, I don't know, put this barrier high enough for people to be demotivated to get involved, this could be, you know, a threat. We are looking into this for Body Up as well, and it's like, it's a fine line between, you know, like, how do you ensure quality and how do you still keep people motivated to do it. And to me, with Army of Awesome, what Madalina mentioned, you know, we want to have a presence there on Twitter, I think it's correct. But as well, since the very beginning, to me, Army of Awesome was another way of reaching to our users, meaning that some people will prefer to answer on forums, some people will prefer to, I don't know, to localize articles, you know, and some other people will just prefer to send a link and help this way. So I would see it this way as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I also agree that yeah, Army of Awesome, it's great to get contributors started. So a training, like a long training, might put a barrier in there. Maybe we could do something like just a list of, you know, suggested ways of doing, like, you know, mostly pointing in the right direction, or yeah, something like that. It's just you know, being friendly to the users. What Roland said also, you know, try not to have a long drawn-out conversation back and forth. Just a few quick start or easy start steps. I don't know, just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, like, really, the whole point of this was to kind of hear what other people think. Because I mean,
So I think,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Roland. Go ahead.
I love the idea of we don't need a formal computer-based training, at least for now. My idea would be that we have buddies who look at Army of Oslo in their time zone, and then people have a single wiki page or a single one-page thing that trains them how to use it. It's a one-pager. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then the buddies make sure, then check out the quality of the tweets in their time zone, in their language.
Yeah.
Every day, or every business day, or some regular schedule, so we don't have us being caught unaware of someone tweeting bad things in Army of Awesome in German, or in Hindi, or Korean.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We actually have so we
Or
have
English.
Yeah, or Spanish. Armada Alucinante is very big. It's very used. So we have the hashtag Army of Awesome channel, which is being monitored constantly. But the problem is that we need more people to be buddies, because now we have very few, and the main guy is Kaki, who's probably, he cannot be there like 24/7. So yeah, this is very cool, Roland. Like having people else. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so about the AOA training, Taxi has been started a program, as in where for training people we have this new IDs which we created on Twitter, usernames called AOA_training, which we tweet about simple problems of Firefox or any Mozilla related this products, and we tell them only to answer the AOA_ training tweet, so that these people get to know, you know, what exactly should be happen. And there are already a toolbox which has automated tweets installed in it, which tells about the crashes or different problems having, and that the simple problems which are already there, and people know about what exactly is happening there. So people to get used with the automated messages, and so we just put mock-up tweets, already the tweets which have already been resolved, we just copy and paste it here, so that people, the newbies, can reply to that, and we can actually see the quality of the tweets these people are putting in.
Okay, so I mean, generally the idea here is to have a training account that will allow people to train answering and replying, and maybe getting used to Twitter as a environment as well for support. And I think it's very, it kind of really ties nicely to what Roland was suggesting as well, that we should have, this period where people actually have this dry run, and they do reply in a real environment, and they do interact with Twitter, and they do it in ways that are useful for Army of Awesome. So they reply to training tweets, seeing what they could do better when they interact with training fake users. But generally, they would have to have somebody overlooking them, or somebody guiding them in their same time zone. And this is a kind of a big thing for us, because right now it's the balance between the number of people we can get on board and the number of people we want to let out there to represent Mozilla, or to represent Army of Awesome online and tweeting live there. So I think the main drive for us is going to be coming up with a nice program that's going to take Carmina's and Ralph's hint into account as well, that we're actually not going to make something hard. It should be fun. It should be something that people can do in an easygoing way, but still it should be a bit demanding.
Yeah. And there was another point that was written on the Etherpad. How should we make Army of Awesome verified on Twitter? I know, Michal, you were thinking about this, so maybe you want to expand on it.
Yeah, why I added this, I mean, I think sometimes from what I chatted with quite a few contributors for Army of Awesome, and what they sometimes get is people replying to their tweets, their helpful tweets, like, why are you doing this, or why are you sending me this? Not all the time, but there's a considerable amount of people just being confused, like, why is this random person sending me a link, and should I click it? Maybe it's spam, maybe it's something that, I have no idea what it is. So of course I have a problem with Firefox or something like, or Firefox OS, and I have issues there, and somebody's replying to me saying, yeah, you can click here to do this. But if it's from a person that's not verified, or if it's from a person that has no Mozilla backing or SUMO backing, like officially, then it could be a bit fishy, to be honest. I mean, I would be really curious to see, what that person is trying to do if I was receiving a tweet like this. So we possibly should think about ways of making Army of Awesome members more official in a way, but to be honest, I don't know why. Sorry, I don't know how. Jeez, wrong word. Never mind, it's too sunny here in my back.
Yeah,
Michal, I'm sure if you... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
There was this proposal. I forgot her name. Was it Kaki? She proposed a way to make people.
It's a guy.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
Okay.
All right. So he proposed this hierarchy thing that might come useful in that case. Because the last time we did this, we actually used to have it. We used to have a official SUMO account that some contributors also used to tweet from before we had the Army of Awesome, and even sometime after we introduced the Army of Awesome. We used a single account from which people tweeted, an official account, and like on the background of the official account where you can have a profile or a picture, we had just the names of the contributors and their shortcuts so that people would know who is tweeting with them. And we explained that these are volunteers. The biggest problem was actually selecting who could and could not use that account, because they were essentially talking in Mozilla's name. Maybe Kaki's proposal is one way around that to really formalize it. But then again, yeah, it's really formal. And maybe that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, there's always this thin line between, because we're still, when we provide support on Twitter or when we do anything on Twitter, there's still like the whole Mozilla name attached to it. So we need to be really, really careful there, especially when we have like verified accounts. Because what I was wondering was something like, I don't know, we can have like stamps, a quality stamp that you can receive on your Twitter, in your avatar, like Mozilla approved. I don't know, something like that.
Well, we could use a badge.
Or a badge. Don't say badge.
No, but don't say badge. Badges are faux pas and passé and all the other French words that I don't know.
There's so many discussions around badges. But yeah, No, that's very cool. Those are very interesting ideas. So thanks everybody.
And for example, Kadir, thank you very much for bringing this up because I wouldn't know and I didn't know, so that definitely makes a good point that we had this before, so we tried it before, and now maybe with Kaki's system, if we make it work somehow, we could make this kind of, if we think it's going to make sense, we can have this level of official Twitter support in a way that would kind of drive Army of Awesome as well. Cool. We're almost at the end of the meeting, I think, Madalena, so we should kind of wrap up, and maybe it would be good to come up with 1 or 2 big action points for the 2 of us, so that we're going to report back next week with something interesting to share with people.
Yeah, I think what we need to do first of all is to basically share the meeting notes for those to those who haven't been present, so, and also, yeah, I mean, there's the video, but you know, a nice summary would be cool.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is what we decided to do after each of those discussion meetings. There's going to be a thread for this particular meeting, and or this particular subject, sorry, and it's going to be on the support forums for the contributors, and we're going to put the links there, and the link to the video and the link to the notes, and we're going to ask some additional questions maybe, or we're going to invite people to comment if they were not present as well, and based on this we're going to keep the discussion going. However, we will soon start doing things to actually get things going as well, because we could discuss, you know, until the sun just burns out. So
until since forever. Until forever. Yeah, we want to discuss less and do more. Awesome. Okay, before we finish, first of all, I want to encourage everybody to add like any topics they want to this meeting that they want to like present to the whole community and discuss about it, because this is what
Madalena is saying. Yeah, sorry,
yes?
I was going to say, Madalena is saying we don't have a topic for next week yet.
Well, not yet, but we will. I mean, there are 100,000 topics, and we might also want to have them like varied, because we have like a whole meeting only on Army of Awesome. Maybe next time we want to have like 3 different topics about different things. We don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, the idea is that this meeting should be where everybody kind of talks, rather than everybody shuts up and does other things while somebody presents. So before we have one minute to go, we should talk about contributors of the week. Any nominations? I wasn't there, so I'm excused. Anybody doing anything amazing?
Oh, there probably is. I'm sure there is.
There probably everybody.
I wanted to nominate Philip for, I don't know if he's actually watching, but Philip P. So Philip on the forums for fighting an amazing war against the spammers and winning. And I'm really sorry I wasn't around there that time to actually help out, but he just did an amazing job of destroying all the spam on the forum and making sure it's actually reported, and it was really, really cool what he did, so thank you very, very much.
Yeah, we love Philip. Philip, you know we love you. You're awesome. I hope to see you again in this meeting, because you did join once. Philip is in Austria, by the way. So, Europe for the win. So, yeah, thanks so much, Philip, for fighting spam. You're a superhero.
Vielen Dank.
And you're a contributor of the week. And I think Roland is being kicked out.
I am being kicked out. Servus, Philip.
Finally. It's interesting tip. If you want to scare Roland away, you have to use a banana. That's what I see, right? Yeah.
It's the ad man. You know, the ad man. Beware the ad man with a banana.
I'm still going to bring
ciao,
when we see.
Au revoir. A bientôt.
Okay.
All right. So to close this up, please write down your updates if you haven't already. Everybody, please read the updates that are there. That's basically.
They will be posted on the blog as well. Sorry for just cutting in again. They will be posted on the blog.
It's okay. You are my my other half, so you can cut off.
Cool.
My other, I don't know, my second personality. So yes, please read them, and if you have questions, you know where to ask about any of those. And again, any topics for next week, anything you want to talk about, any issues, crazy stuff happening that you want to bring to the group, please do. And yeah, I'll see you next week with more interesting stuff to talk about.
Thanks a lot
And
for everybody.
Mother, the way to say it properly is "you're my better half."
I'm not sure yet.
That's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Okay.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
guys. Thank you so much for
Thanks a lot.
joining.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.